Hey guys, what's up? TGIF today. Like my channel, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that like button. I keep saying like this channel. Of course, like the channel. Subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. And helps the channel grow, gives us more followers, more views, and more success. So more success, we all win. Anyway, today I want to talk about what's in my bag, what I carry to the gym. A lot of people ask me, Kevin, what do I need to start working out, or what do you carry when you work out, or what do you have in your bag, or what do you bring to the gym, day to day. So I'm going to start out with, you can see my bag down here, hydration. This is important. I always have hydration with me, whether it's just water, or like I told you before, I put in EAAs, essential amino acids, in this. I'll put in some glutamine and a little bit of carbohydrate powder, depending on how heavy my workouts are. This is essential right here, big shaker. This is probably I don't know, 40 ounces, 42 ounces or somewhere around there, but you should be able to knock this out in a workout. If you're working out a good hour and a half and you're sweating a lot, working out heavy, you should put this down in an intra workout right here. This is during your workout, not before, not after, during. So you might drink some during and then have some left over to drink as you're walking out of the gym, but I get this in during my workout, which is, my workouts typically are an hour, hour 15, hour 20, depending. Leg days a little longer and back days a little bit longer, but that's number one right there. I can't stress that enough, how important hydration is. Or just bring a gallon jug of water, or whatever it is. You see guys with big jugs of water. Very important to hydrate. I see guys working out at the gym and they're not drinking any water for a solid hour, and there's all kinds of studies out there. Hani Rambod talks about the importance of sipping water in between your sets. Just always be hydrated and drinking. It's not going to hurt you. It's a good thing. It helps the muscles. It helps hydration, of course, but also helps the movement and nutrients in the body. So stay hydrated, not just at the gym, throughout the day. That's a big important one there. Second one is, for me, are a good set of wrist wraps. Wrist wraps are very important because, for powerlifters, we tend to not like to use a lot of wrist wraps because we got to work on grip. You're not allowed to use wrist wraps in powerlifting meets. So you have to you got to work really hard on your grip. But these are a great tool. Like when I'm deadlifting, ultimately your deadlift for a lot of guys will be limited by your grip strength. There's guys that can pull, let's just say 600, but their grip strength gives out at 570, 550, 560. So that's an extra 40 pounds you're leaving there because your grip just slips, right? I train with these partially through my cycle for powerlifting meet because it allows me to pull more weight, and then I work on my grip and it comes together. And you don't want to be too dependent on them, but for bodybuilding reasons, I use these all the time because I don't have to focus on my grip so much for bodybuilding, right? We're not getting on the stage and lifting weights. So these are important to just, get a good firm grip, from pull downs to rows to deadlifts, all those types of things, especially on back day. These are Versa grips. These are my favorite. I've been using these for 10, 15 years. What's great about these is, I'll just show you, they're fail safe. When you use the long straps, the straps can sometimes slip. I don't know how many times I've been deadlifting heavy and then a strap slips on me. It just gives, these things do not give. And you just put them on like this and you wrap them around your wrist, cinch it, and then it just Velcro. And then you have this here, and then this just wraps around the bar. And this rubber grip is just like glue. It does not let go of the bar until you do that. So these things, Versa grip, they're not cheap. They're about 70 bucks on Amazon, but they got different lengths, different sizes. There's different versions of this. Versa grip is, I think, one of the first ones. Awesome, awesome tool to have in the bag right there, man. I highly recommend those. A big thing, of course, is a good belt. Now, this is from Cardillo. I've had this belt for 20 some years. It's a custom made belt with my name on it, which was big and cool back then. This is a narrow belt. It's more of a bodybuilding belt, not so much for powerlifting, although you could use it for powerlifting, but most guys use a much thicker belt for powerlifting. That's thick all the way. I'll show you one of those, but this is important. I don't use a belt at all when I train. I don't even use a belt when I powerlift. I'm a beltless lifter, and that's kind of weird, but you'll see guys do it from time to time. I don't use belts, but there was a time when I did use belts, and I recommend you use belts because it's great for your back support especially. if you're doing squats or bent over rows or something like that and you want to use a belt, invest in a good belt. Don't get a cheap one, get a decent belt. One with, I like the double hooks here, you know, the double notches on it are really good. They take a while to break in. This one's broken. Once they get broken, they're really good. But try to get a good belt, especially if you got back issues. I would recommend a belt. Excellent brand, Cardillo. Little fancy, but they make a great belt. This is the other type of belt. This is a powerlifting belt. As you can see, this thing is thick all the way through. You can see the thickness of this, very thick, very heavy duty, and it's the same thickness all the way through, unlike the other belt. And this is called a lever belt, and this has this thing here. It doesn't have the, you just, you know, when you put this on, this lever goes in these holes, and it really cinches up tight. I personally don't like these, but they're great for deadlifting especially, and squatting for that matter, but they're excellent for deadlifting. Again, I don't use a belt, but I do recommend you use a belt, and this is a belt you could look into. This is called a lever belt. There's standard powerlifting belts that look just like the bodybuilding belt I showed you, but they're thicker and they're the same width all the way through. So those are the differences between those two belts. I would recommend if you're a bodybuilder or just a guy that's working out, you know, just to get fit and you're not competing, this is a much better belt. You're day in and day out. It's more comfortable. It's very easy to use, and it does it does what it needs to do for you. Now I use different types of sleeves here, but these are elbow wraps. These are made of neoprene, a neoprene, and these are by Iron Rebel. I use their stuff. I like Iron Rebel personally. You put these on your elbows, they protect your elbows, and they also really add some to your bench, some rebound on your bench in the bottom. These are not legal in raw powerlifting. You cannot use elbow sleeves of any kind in raw powerlifting. These are for training tool only. If you're bodybuilding or just working to get your bench heavier and want to protect your elbows, these are excellent for protecting the elbows. If you got elbow pain, these really help compress the elbows, and I recommend them. They're great. They're very tight. They're not super tight, but you can see here, they pull on pretty easy. And they just give you a nice, and they're comfortable actually. These aren't, there's different types of these, there's different grades. Some are very heavy duty and you can hardly bend them, and they're for, when you bench. These are more in the middle, and you can look these up, but these are more comfortable. You can wear these through your whole workout. As you can see, they bend pretty easily. But when you can see here just how much I get on, it really protects the elbow, especially when you're bench pressing. I like these a lot. I use them. Now again, I compete in powerlifting, so with these, I don't depend on them too much, because if you get too dependent on them, when you take them off, it feels weird. It affects your groove and everything else. So I'll use them a little bit when I'm really trying to do some max loads, but I make sure that as I'm training for a power meet, I ditch these things and I start using just, regular, no assistance at all. So good elbow wraps right there are very important. And second is a good knee sleeve. If you're squatting, I would recommend using some kind of knee sleeves. Again, these are legal. You can wear knee sleeves in raw powerlifting, but you cannot wear elbow sleeves. So that's the difference. With raw powerlifting, you can wear knee sleeves. They're allowed. There's certain thicknesses you can and can't use. So there's limits to these, but this is a legal competition sleeve by Iron Rebel. These are fantastic. I do train with these. I try to train without them as long as I can when I'm peaking for a meet, because the longer I can go without them, when I put these things on, I really can get a nice rebound and add even more pounds to my squat. So, and when you're going heavy, they really do protect the knees and the upper quad and the lower quads. I recommend these things, Iron Rebel. Again, none of these guys sponsor me. I just use their products. I believe in them because I use them and I've competed with them. Excellent stuff here. So great knee sleeves right there. These smell pretty awful, so I would advise you to hand wash them. I don't, so it keeps people away from you though when they stink, so that's a good thing. Let's see what else we got in here. These are knee wraps. Now, what's the difference between a knee wrap and a knee sleeve? Well, these, as I'm sure a lot of you have seen, these are Inzer. I don't use these anymore because they're not legal in raw powerlifting. The sleeves are, the wraps are not legal. What's the difference? These things give you a lot more rebound on your squat and support more rebound than you get with a sleeve, okay? So, and these things are probably about 7 feet long when they're unwound. They're not real thick, but they're very stout. These are called the knee wraps. I used to use them when I used to do, back in the 90s when I was doing single ply, and I was doing, you could use wraps. And you still can use wraps in open powerlifting divisions that aren't raw with, they call them equipped. So with equipped divisions, you can use sleeves, you can use belts, you can use bench shirts, you can use squat suits, you can use elbow wraps, all kinds of stuff like that. I don't think you can use elbow wraps in equipped. I'm not positive about that, so you might want to check that. You can use wrist wraps. So anyway, these are knee wraps. If you're a raw powerlifter, I would stay away from these. I wouldn't use them. If you're an equipped powerlifter, obviously you're going to use these. That's a no-brainer. If you're a bodybuilder, and you'll see Nick Walker and you'll see Hunter Labrada using knee wraps when they go heavy on their squats. Great idea. Protects the knees, lets you use more pounds, building the thighs bigger. That's what we want, right? We want to get bigger. These are a great investment to make. Again, there's cheap ones and there's good ones. Don't cut corners on your equipment, guys, if you can help it. It's like supplements, I said. Spend the extra money, get the high quality supplements, you know. It's the same with your gear. Use the good gear. Inzer is a great company. There's lots of good ones. Iron Rebel has great sleeves. Mark Bell, his company has great sleeves. So these are all really good. So those are the knee sleeves, knee wraps, excuse me, that I would recommend. Again, these are back to the wrist wraps. These are the standard wrist wraps we all see here. I was just going to show you. I think you all know what they look like. Again, I use the Versa Grips, but these are great. These wrist wraps work good, and they're cheap. You can buy these probably for $10 at a lot of places. Again, so those are the main things. And I will say another thing is wrist wraps. Now these are the Inzer, as you saw the Inzer knee wraps. These are the Inzer wrist wraps, and these just wrap around your wrists, especially when you're bench pressing. They protect the wrists, and also they keep the hand tight, keep the hand in position. I don't use wrist wraps, never have. I've just never been a wrist wrap guy. But if you have bad wrists or you have weak wrists and you bench heavy in the gym, these are a great item to use. They do add a little bit to your lift as far as support, I should say. I don't think they've never added any weight to my lift. They don't increase weight like elbow wraps, elbow sleeves will. But these definitely will add protection for your wrists and keep them tighter, you know, keep them more stout on your wrists. So wrist wraps, again, by Inzer. Excellent item there. Last but not least, and this is an item that you don't have to have, but I would recommend. I have to have music. I gotta have earphones on, man. When I'm lifting, especially when I'm going heavy, I want to be listening to my Metallica or my good jams here. These are earbuds. You can use anything you want. I mean, there's a million types of these. These are what I use because these seem to work the best for me. And they go in the ear and they're waterproof, sweat-proof. These things are really good earbuds. So invest in some good music, man, because the stuff they play in gyms today, you never know what the hell they're going to have on. One day they got disco, the next day they got opera. You know, what the fuck. But I like to bring my own music. Just a little tip there. And I don't care what anybody says. You put the right music on at the right time when you're under some heavy-ass weight, it motivates me, man. I don't know what it is. It gets you, it focuses me more. So there you go. Some other things I don't have is ammonia tablets. Guys carry ammonia capsules. They'll get a shot of ammonia before they do a big lift. You know, it gives them a rush. Never use those. Seen lots and lots of guys use them. If you're a lifter, power lifter especially, you'll see guys use those all the time. I've tried them. Didn't get much out of them, but again, to each his own. There is one more thing I wanted to show you. It's over here. These here work greatly on your grip strength. I keep these in my gym bag. Actually, I just had them over there, but these are great for really improving your grip. You can buy these on Amazon. You can buy them just about anywhere you can get these. And just squeezing these things, and each one has a different resistance. As you go up, they get stronger and harder to do. And each one of them, you know, gets more resistive. You do these exercises with your hands, it really improves your grip strength, your forearms too. You can see there. I use these all the time, especially with deadlifting, when you really have to be able to grip a bar. This is one of the tools I use to help improve my grip for deadlifting. And also anything, curling. When your grip fails, you fail, because once you lose your grip, if you're not using wraps, if you're not using VersaGrips, you know, you forget your reps. It's nice. It's never a bad thing to have a strong grip, guys. It's never a bad thing. So that's the other thing that I wanted to throw in there. It's in my bag. And get you a good bag. Get a good duffel bag. A lot of gyms won't let you carry them on the floor. Some do, some don't. If you can, it's a good thing. Forgot I left out chalk. I don't have my chalk with me. My gym doesn't allow it, but some gyms do. And they usually, like Croc's gym where I go to, they have a chalk bin in the gym, which is awesome. That you can use their chalk, right? Some of the harder core gyms, the more serious powerlifting gyms have chalk in the gym, but Rogue sells blocks of chalk. They sell different types of chalk. If you need chalk when you're lifting, get that chalk, but make sure your gym allows it, because if they don't and you get chalk all over the place, you're going to be in trouble. They don't like that shit. So I don't mind chalk. When I owned a gym, I let guys bring in chalk. It's messy, but I just say, hey, if you make a mess, clean it up, right? Chalk is good. So chalk is one thing I would recommend using, especially for deadlifts. You don't need it so much. Well, squats, bench presses, obviously, I guess, but me, it's more deadlifts than anything. But it's good on bench press, any type of bar knurled. You get the chalk on there. You got some perspiration, definitely helps the grip. So invest in some chalk if you want to do that. I'm not going to get into gym gear, shoes, and all that. That's highly preferential for what you want to wear in the gym. You know, it's always up to you. So anyway, any questions? Like this channel, subscribe to this channel. Leave me comments below on any questions you might have. Something maybe I didn't cover enough, or some question you have about some piece of gear. I'll do the best I can to answer that. Also, if you want to add something like, hey, Kevin, this is a good thing I use, this is a bad thing, or this is great, this is not great, this company's good, this company's not good, leave the comments down below, get a discourse going. We all learn from each other. I'm not an expert on anything, but I definitely know a little bit about this stuff. So again, we're in my gym downstairs here. I'm going to do a video. I've got a power rack coming. It's going to sit right behind me from Rogue. And I got some really cool stuff. So I'm going to start doing some of my heavy bench pressing here at my house, in my home gym here, which I'm putting together right now. And I'll probably be doing a video on that in a couple weeks by the time I get it all ready. So I'll be shooting some really good bench press techniques, squat techniques, deadlift techniques. We'll be able to do that in here without a lot of interruption. We'll do some in the gym too, obviously, but this is going to be pretty dope when I get it done, I hope. So anyway, guys, have a great weekend. I'll holler at you later.